All right. In our garage.
Episode
Number
2.
2.
So we
2.5.
actually filmed.
Like 4 days ago.
Yeah, and it didn't record anything.
So
it was just us talking in the garage.
It was a nice conversation.
It was a great conversation.
But this time we made sure it is recording.
Yes.
We can see it to see if it will stop recording.
Better camera quality. Thank you everyone for your comments about our camera quality and about just
and about the video. Thank you for watching. Sorry it took so long for us to get another one out. We have been a work in progress. Hopefully we're gonna get better. I'm moving closer, so we'll be able to get more consistently weekly podcasts. So thank you for subscribing. Exciting stuff.
Yes, that was very awesome seeing all those comments. I think we got like 20 subscribers, and every single one of you, I want you to know, we literally were like,
ah! It was so cool. I can't believe that people want to listen to us talk, but like, thank you for joining us.
Like, it seems like this tiniest thing, but it meant so much. So yes. Thank you guys.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
So our episode 2 plan was going to talk about motherhood, and originally we were going to have Valerie's story because hers is more fresh, which I mean, I feel like we still could do it.
I don't think we should really say that it's about motherhood. I would say it's more.
Well, it's just because your motherhood is 3 months right now.
I know, but so that's what I'm saying. But my
whole thing,
your motherhood is so like you're having to like deal with discipline and attitudes and like different stuff. My baby still cries and I'm at her beck and call.
So then what is this? We're going to be
more
just childbirthing and becoming parents?
It could be.
And then do a separate one on motherhood?
Well, I guess I don't know. I guess it's up to you of how you want. It could still be motherhood, sorry. But mine was more like the labor and delivery.
Yeah, but that's your story of motherhood right now.
Okay.
Because my story of motherhood is a lot less about labor and delivery because, one, it happened a long time ago and I barely remember it. And
Valid.
2, because I adopted 2 kids. So I don't even have a labor and delivery story.
I guess that's true.
So it is technically motherhood, but it's more of becoming a mother. And then my story would be more like what it's been like through the years and things like that.
Okay. Well, it's up to you. I think we should do yours.
Okay. So I have 4 children.
4 kids.
I have 2 adopted, 2 biological.
Yeah.
My oldest is adopted, and his story is his to tell. He was adopted from foster care. I was not a foster parent. I was 19.
Which wild, crazy stuff.
And we were asked to take him. And
keep in mind, freshly married at 18.
Yeah. And we did because we were like, who would say no to this, right? And he's a great kid. He's an amazing kid. I through that whole process, which was about 1.5 years of him getting adopted, which was very tough. Like now that I look back at it, I go, I was 19.
Yeah.
And I was like,
no, yeah. I mean, like, her husband was also 19.
Yeah. So I think about it and I'm like, what a crazy thing that everyone was like, no, you guys can do this. It's perfectly fine. Like, and we were just like, everyone says we're good. We could do it. And we're like crying.
Well, I mean, you did it.
No, and we did it. It
wasn't, you're like 11 years down the road now.
Yeah. It wasn't anything like him. It was the process was just exhausting and daunting and ifs, and it's just exhausting. And through the process, I got pregnant with my daughter, and he was adopted in April. She was born. He turned 3 2 weeks later.
Got a lot of summer babies.
Yes. And that was an amazing time. Just the piece of him being adopted, and I was home with him, and I really got to enjoy him so much. And he was such a character. Like,
he was so funny.
So my 2 oldest are about they're 2 weeks shy of being 3 years apart.
Oh, okay.
So he turned 3 right when, like, 2 weeks before she was born. 2 weeks after she was born.
Yeah. Okay.
So they were perfect. He loved her. And then I put him, and then so life went on. That year we traveled.
How was your labor and pregnancy with Aurora?
Okay.
So you adopted him. And that's great.
That was fun.
18, 19 years old. So married at 18, adopted a kid at 19.
Adopted him at 21 because it took 2 years.
Okay, started the process of adopting him at 19. Didn't finalize it till she was 21, but then in that time she got pregnant.
Yes.
And so, how was your pregnancy?
My pregnancy with Aurora, I had the HG really bad.
What's that?
The
hyperglycemic?
No, the thing that makes you vomit.
Oh. Yeah, I do remember that. One time, I remember specifically we were leaving either Firebirds or Olive Garden, and we were walking to the car, and you're all, hold on. And you literally just like leaned over some rocks, just like projectile vomited.
Yeah.
And then was just like, okay.
Yeah, it makes you very comfortable with vomit.
Yeah, I can get
everyone
that.
would be like, oh, it's miserable. I was overweight, so like any ounce of weight I didn't gain, the doctor was like, good. And they were brutal. I think when I went in, I was probably like 320. I lost 20 pounds. I was like 340 pounds when I was found out I was pregnant with Aurora.
Okay.
And they were brutal. They were like, do not gain weight. You will get diabetes. And I was like, okay. I was 20. I'm like, this is my first pregnancy. I'm like, I did not know it was going to be like this. Okay. And I went on. I didn't get diabetes.
Are very mean.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, she's a very healthy fat person.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know everyone wants to be like, there's no such thing.
But she is.
I still don't have diabetes. I had 2 children and I never got diabetes.
She didn't even have just the pregnancy diabetes. What is it called?
Gestational.
Nope, nothing.
They swore I was going to have that. I had to do the 3-hour test twice without failing the 1-hour test.
Yeah.
Just because they wanted to be extra cautious. I never had any issues with that. So once I hit probably 14 weeks, the vomiting slowed down a little bit. I felt pretty good. I did fine. My blood pressure did become a little bit of a problem toward the end. And I was admitted 38 weeks because of my blood pressure. But also, and this is where it was frustrating. The reason that I was admitted to that day in the hospital was because I had really low amniotic fluid.
Yeah, I remember.
But they were also watching my blood pressure.
Yeah.
I never got preeclampsia. I just had high blood pressure. And I never actually went over into it. I needed the magnesium drip, anything like that. I went in because I had extremely low fluid. And I was there for 3 days trying to be induced, and I'm 21. This is my first time. I had read the statistics. I knew that if you were induced overweight, you were 50% more likely to end up with C-section. And then 2 days into the induction,
yeah, because you were there for a long time.
Yeah, I finally got to 4, and they broke my water Friday night, and they were like, all right, cool, we're going to break your water. Let's see where this goes. They break my water, and I start contracting, but I have no idea what this feels like. I don't know what to expect. And it doesn't end for literally, I'm just sitting there in pain. And about an hour later, the nurse comes in and stops it. And she's like, you can sit up. And I was like, oh, it stopped. I was like, what happened? And she's like, well, something's wrong because you contracted for 1 hour.
You had a contraction that lasted an hour?
Yes. She goes, your contraction didn't go down. And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm just sitting there in pain. And she's like, yeah, I think it's the Pitocin. So we're going to have to take you off of it for a minute and see if it can reset. And now that I look back at that, I'm like, no wonder it was so painful. That
is crazy.
So I had to ask for an epidural immediately because I was like, this isn't ending and I'm in pain and it was hurting my bladder like none other. And I'm sitting there being pumped with fluids. So I'm like,
no, I remember you saying that for when you were like, you're going to, but I didn't have any IVs or anything.
Yeah. So, I ended up having an emergency C-section 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Every time I laid back, her heart stopped. And so they were like, let's do this. So, I mean, I sort of knew. Now, at the end, after my C-section, I was up and walking around 6 hours later. I would have told anyone it was not that bad.
Which is crazy.
Was the easiest thing ever.
But she's very healthy. And everybody, I don't know, I feel like.
When I went in for my second C-section, they literally tape your stomach up and they look at my scar and all the nurses are like, look at that scar. You can't even see it. I healed great. I was up and fine. I was chasing around 2 kids. I will say after your first pregnancy and going home to a newborn and a toddler, significantly more difficult than I think.
Right, because you had adopted your firstborn. And so
my first newborn experience was with a toddler.
Yeah, so that
was tough.
I could imagine.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I'm pretty resilient and...
That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you had...
I was just tired. He was good. He potty trained like the next day. Like literally, I was like, I'm not having 2 kids in diapers. You're potty training, because he fought potty training so bad. And then when I said that to him, I was like, listen here, you're gonna use the potty. And he's like, okay.
Nice.
And he did it in like a week, and he was fine. But
awesome. That's
yeah,
cool.
he started preschool. Then wait, no, he was we were there. It was just two of us for 1 year.
I was like, no, because he had a
couple
years.
Then the next year, literally 1 year and 5 days later, I am in Vegas because my husband is working there, and so we went to go visit him. And I get a phone call that there is.
Can you like look at me like we're having a conversation?
This is how I talk to people, though. I don't really look at them.
Okay.
I just like zone out. I'm remembering it in my head.
Okay. Vegas.
So
I just feel like
but what? That's how I talk. I feel like it comes off as rude, and it's not. It's just me trying to remember the details.
Okay.
So then let me see.
I keep looking at this light, and it's like
I get a phone call, and then she's like, this is CPS with DCS, and I'm like, I don't want to talk to you.
Because wasn't at this time your adoption for Matthew?
Everything was done.
Had just finished.
Yeah, and I just was like, I don't want to talk to you, lady.
Yeah.
And
if you've ever had CPS in your life, you know that it's not fun.
She's like, I know that you have an adopted child, and I just wanted to, that his sister was born, and we need placement for her. And I was like, not expecting this. I think I'm 22 at the time. I'm like, sure, let's do this. So I drive home that night.
You drove home that night. Yeah. She drove through the night to get the baby.
And they brought her to me the next morning, and she was the tiniest little thing.
So cute.
For reference, my daughter was 8 pounds at 2 weeks early. This girl was full term, and she was 5 pounds.
Yeah, so she was tiny.
She was tiny, and she was boring. She was
she was boring.
She slept so much when I first got her. She was just like, I was so stressed out.
This was your formula kid.
Yeah. So I've had one on formula, I fully breastfed my other daughter. And I had no issues with that. And then obviously my other daughter was formula fed because she was adopted. And then I did half and half for my last one, and I'll explain why for that one. So she had, I guess just maybe it was the difference between formula and breastfeeding. She just would sleep so much.
Which they do, so, because I'm exclusively breastfeeding, and when you look up, like, how long should a baby be sleeping? It always says formula-fed babies, they sleep longer. Because they're full more, because the formula breast milk is so much lighter on the stomach.
Yeah, so I expected her to be more like my daughter, where she was like up a little bit more. She slept so much.
She did. I do remember that. She did sleep a lot.
She was also so tiny, though. I feel like she was still growing.
Yeah.
Like my daughter came out a toddler compared to her.
Yeah.
But so with her, her situation was so dumb. She was free and clear to be adopted like right away. But she went into custody, DCS custody right away. The state of Arizona wouldn't give her a birth certificate.
Yeah.
So it took 2 years for her to be adopted, because we had to go in front of a committee. And even though she'd been in the custody of Arizona, they would not grant her a birth certificate. And so that was a whole thing in its own.
And you got her when she was like a day old, 2 days old?
2 days old. Yeah, and she's been with us ever since.
She's literally never been with anyone else.
Yep, she's she's my husband's twin.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then about 4 years later, I wanted to have more kids. I was trying to have more kids, and it just wasn't working. So about I think when she was about 2 she was 3, we started fertility treatments. And because I wasn't getting I wasn't getting pregnant.
Why wasn't it working?
Well, when we did start doing, I have PCOS. I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I knew I did. At the time, I feel like it was not very it probably was more wide known, but like in my circle, it wasn't.
TikTok has made it more.
Definitely.
I definitely feel like people claim they have it when they really don't.
Yeah, so I went and got all the stuff done. I got the string of pearls. Like, I have the full.
Yeah.
Which it made sense. Like, everything I went through. It's
also why she's such a healthy fat person.
Well, technically you'd be more unhealthy, but I think because of my habits, I'm healthier.
Oh, okay. That would make sense.
Yeah, so technically it would make you struggle with absorbing certain things and things like that. But because I am so cautious of it, it makes it a little more.
Well, she's also, I mean, you've lost
70 pounds
since, so she looks a lot.
But I've never been able to lose weight on my own, even with PCOS, like never until I started the Wegovy.
Yeah.
What with
after her last baby? Sorry.
Yeah, that's all happened. So with her, I got pregnant.
And well, okay, what happened? Crazy.
Well, so
the last one was wild.
I did 10 months of fertility treatments. That was pills.
You did 10 months?
Yeah. So we did the 6 cycles of 2 different ovulation meds. Didn't work. Then we went in to do 2 IUIs. I had my tubes checked. I had the uterus inflate, and then my husband was checked. Love my husband. He came back with a little bit of a problem as well.
So 2 infertile people.
2, yeah, and so that was a pretty big shock because we had already had a biological child, so we thought
without any help.
Yes, yeah, and we thought, oh no, and so I mean, I thought the PCOS was the only thing keeping us, but basically he said, oh, you're both going like this. So it's funny though because everyone's like, oh, with infertility you could always adopt, and we preemptively did that, not knowing we had infertility.
Yeah, because you didn't know till you started trying for
more
your
kids.
Second kid.
Yeah, so we were
crazy.
So we found that out, and so we did 2 IUIs, which is in utero insemination. Those both failed. That was the month before COVID, and that month was March of 2020 when the world shut down. And in March 2020, we got the message that the clinic was having to close. All stuff was being canceled. My second IUI had failed, and we were out of money. At that point, it had been almost $7,000, and we had 3 other kids, and I feel like I went through a full-blown mourn. I said, that's it. We're just the parents of 3 kids. There's nothing we could do about it. This is our life. And
that's crazy.
I sobbed, and Lige was just like, it's not that big of a deal. It could happen. And I was like, bro, it didn't happen. Were you not here? And he just always stayed so positive. And he just was like, I just don't his mentality was that he was perfectly happy with the kids he had, and he'd be perfectly happy with any more he had.
Yeah.
And that was how he stayed. It drove me nuts. And I would be like,
that's not a bad mentality to have.
And he'd be like, I don't want you to be upset. And I'd be like, you're driving me crazy. And I know he did it out of kindness for me. And it's just frustrating because his rockness was just like, stop being so sturdy and be upset.
Yeah.
And so March of 2020 happened, mourned it. I got pregnant.
That's crazy. I didn't know that I knew you had done the treatments, and I thought you had gotten it from Billy.
Mm-mm.
The money though.
No.
Okay. So, and then that was right after my own stuff. So I was not paying attention to life really.
Yeah, no. We paid for everything, and it was pretty good.
That's crazy. And then she got pregnant naturally.
Naturally, literally. See? 1 month after my canceled everything, I got pregnant naturally. And I kind of feel like it was a little bit of the relief of letting go, which I hate when anyone who's dealt with fertility knows when people are like, just relax. It is so hard to be like, what makes you think while I'm trying to get pregnant, I'm not relaxed?
Right. Gross.
Yeah, I just was like, what does, and I really no.
Gross.
Literally gave up, got pregnant. I think it was a little bit too coming off all the meds, and then my body just went pfft.
Yeah, probably. A last ditch effort.
And and men are mental too, as much as they don't want to talk about it. They get stressed out by it too, and it's a lot for them to be, and
it is.
He was done, I was done. Both of our bodies were like, oh, thank God.
And then it happened.
I got pregnant with her, and she's amazing. She's hilarious. She's taught me so many things about my biological and adopted kids are so different, and my second adopted child has taught me so much about her brother that I just was like, okay, this is just him being him. This is just her being her. And then with my biological daughter, everything I knew went out the window, and I realized that my firstborn daughter was an angel and no other child is like her.
Yeah.
And it's taught me so much because my 4th child tests me every single day in a way I've never been tested before.
She is crazy.
She is the challenge like none other. And
what about your delivery with her?
Yeah. So, yeah. It had been 5 years since I'd given birth, and there was literally no option. It was not,
because it was right in COVID still. This is December of COVID.
Yeah, I could not even argue about trying to have a VBAC. They said absolutely not. So I scheduled my C-section. I was like, whatever. My C-section before wasn't that bad. Once again, I had the amniotic leak part.
Okay.
And I went in. They told me it was like 3 days before Christmas. And they go, your fluid's a little low. You're going to need to come in 2 days. And I went, 2 days isn't Christmas. I'm not coming in Christmas. And they were like, fine, come the next day. So I got up 7 a.m, 6 a.m., I think 6 a.m. the 26th, drove to the hospital, and they were like, you're having the baby today. And I was like, good thing I didn't come yesterday.
Right.
And
it's crazy.
She was born via C-section that night at 6 p.m. But what had happened is
the hospital.
Well, the way they do an epidural is you're leaned over. When you're big, pregnant, and you're already big, leaning over is hard and your spine is harder to find. Yeah. And what they did was they went in like probably 3 or 4 times. Jeez. And I had felt them go in, and I kept saying, did you get it? And I could, you feel them digging around there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I feel this shock of pain through my left side. And I screamed like, ah! And
yeah, like shock.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. And they're like, no, we think that's what got it through. And I'm like, okay. So they start pinching me everywhere, and they're like, she's not feeling it. She's good. And so they have me laid back, and I'm not feeling anything. They're testing, but I'm moving my right foot, and I'm doing it on purpose because I'm like, why can I feel my right foot? I can't feel my left foot, but I can feel my right foot. I feel one of the nurses grab my foot and go, is she supposed to do this?
Oh my goodness.
And one of the, it's
crazy.
fine. And I'm like, hello, I know you can feel me. And so the surgeon, she goes, I just sprayed the freezing. Do you feel it? So then they pinch me here, and they spray it here. And she's like, I just pinched your stomach really hard. Did you feel it? And I'm like, no. And she's like, we're good then. We're good. So they start, chopping away. And about, 4 layers in, I go, you can hear me and go, ow.
Yeah, because her husband had photos, and in the live photo, if you push it, you can hear
me here. Oh. And in my head, I'm like, up. Yeah, in my head, I'm like Bella from Twilight. Turning into a vampire. So in my head, I'm screaming like, I'm in pain. And my husband's like, you were really quiet. And I'm like, no, I wasn't. And so then I listen to the things, and I'm like, how did you not hear me? And so the guy, he comes up to me, he's like, can you hold on until the baby's out? And I'm like, he goes, because if you can't hold on until the baby's out, then the baby's going to end up being drugged too. And I will knock you out as soon as the baby's out. Can you hold on to that? And I said, yes. And I'm just sitting there, oh. And in my head, I'm like, and it's funny because everyone's like, it's pain. And what it feels like is your insides are on fire.
I can get that.
So
they're literally inside you.
Yes. With a C-section, you can feel most of everything. Like you can feel them tugging.
At least the pressure of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You feel them tugging, you feel them moving stuff around. And with this, it just felt like burning. And I remember screaming in my head, apparently, because it wasn't out loud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ow, 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 ow. And then
that's scary.
As soon as she comes out, it goes dark, and he knocked me out immediately. Yeah. As soon as she was out. So I hear a little bit of my husband, and then it went dark.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later, I'm in the recovery room with my baby, and then I start complaining about a headache. And the headache's light because you're still on so much drugs.
Yeah.
So I think the next day I go to the room, and I'm like, I have a headache. They're like, drink some caffeine. So my husband goes and gets me some caffeine, and we drink some coffee, and I can't sit up at all without the headache.
Yeah.
And so I'm laying down, and I'm trying to just kind of figure out things with a newborn in the hospital, but COVID's just me and my husband. No one can come help me. So I'm like, okay.
I had other children.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, everything's fine. I'm able to do stuff. I'm not it feels like my first one. The only thing is I have this headache. So I go home, I tell them about the headache, and they just kind of are like, it could be this, it could be that. Just, drink some caffeine.
This was not a normal headache.
Well, in the fact that you can feel it when you're that drugged up, and I'm complaining about it.
I remember when you came home, you were very you were in pain. You were visibly not well.
I think, but literally, because I didn't go back until 3 days later, because I think that's when all of the medicine had completely worn off, and I was like, oh no, this is really painful. And I mean, I was in pain. I was complaining about the headache while in the hospital. And I go home. I'm nursing my baby. The only way I can nurse her is laying down. I'm having conversations with people like this.
Because that's where you...
And yes, because it was the only way...
That you didn't have pain.
It didn't have pain.
Yeah, okay.
My eyes, anytime my eyes were open, I'd be talking to people like this. Because if my eyes were open, it was like my eyes were tugging to focus. And I was hurting so bad. So I would be having conversations like this on the couch. And I'd be like laying down as best I could while still trying to take care of my other 3 children and a newborn. So I finally go back to the hospital. They won't let me take my baby in the hospital because of the COVID rules.
Yeah.
I go in there and they're like, you have a spinal headache. So what a spinal headache is they tore a hole in my spinal cord when they did the epidural. And what's happening is the spinal fluid is leaking out. Now, the spinal fluid is what causes your brain to stay in place. When your spinal fluid leaks out, your brain sags. Literally, it does like this. So when your brain sags,
horrible.
It pulls on all the nerves right here, which is why it was affecting my eyes so much.
Yeah, okay.
They're like, it takes 7 days. And the only other way to get it really to stop is with a blood epidural, where they take your blood, they purify it, and they put it back into your spinal cord to basically cause a clot against that. The problem is if they do that, they could also tear another hole in your spinal cord.
Yeah. That's a wild risk.
So I went into the hospital. They're like, we're going to give you this medicine. It was in so much pain. I threw up in the hallway. Like I wasn't dying.
No, yeah.
So they're like, we're going to give you this medicine, but there's this treatment you can try where they take lidocaine and they stick it up into the nerves, into the back, like through your nose. So I didn't realize what they meant when they said that. And I thought they were going to stick a needle in my nose. And so I'm like, I'm in so much pain. I'm like, yeah, it wasn't a needle. It's literally like a COVID swab Q-tip, and they're gelling lidocaine to the back of your throat. Yeah, and that worked for a couple hours. That was nice until I got the medicine, and the medicine was able to help, and the medicine was just like really strong Tylenol and a ton of caffeine.
That's crazy.
But it took literally, my daughter was born 6 o'clock Saturday. 7 days later, 6 o'clock Saturday, it was like my brain stopped hurting. My head stopped, the headache stopped, and I was like, oh gosh, I feel so much better. But 10 out of 10, I did again.
I wouldn't. That's wild. That's why I chose, after that experience with her and hearing that story, I chose an all-natural birth. I went through midwives. I did not do hospital anything because I was like, no. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep, but
that is crazy.
Honestly, though, I mean, this is why people say having the 4th kid is easier, because my kids were, I think my oldest was 7 when she was born, and it was easy coming home with her.
Yeah.
Like, they were so, like, they would hold her for me all the time.
Yeah,
like,
so excited.
So they were, like, she was their favorite person. And I never had a moment of, like, you know, like, I didn't have extra arms. I never didn't have extra arms. Like, they helped me. They would always, like, they were so sweet. They would help me change the laundry over, and they would help me. Matthew would make me eggs, like, every single day, because it was the only thing he knew how to make.
Yeah.
And he would make me breakfast, and he'd bring me a yogurt or a banana. And
that's cute.
I remember there were times when she'd cry and I didn't, like, wake up right away, and he'd come and wake me up, be like, she's crying. I have a video on my phone where he thought my husband snoring was her crying, and I'm rocking her in the room, and he comes in and he's like, I thought the baby was crying, and it's just my husband. Snoring.
He has a really loud snore.
And my son's a super light sleeper. Like, he cannot handle it.
That's funny. So those are your 4 kids. Would you, I guess, now that you have them, what is your favorite part of the 4 of them that, like, you get to enjoy?
As much as it is a challenge, and as much as it has been, like, probably something that I just stress out the most, I love homeschooling my kids.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much I loved learning. I love when they have a passion for something they're learning. They specifically love their heritage stories, and right now they're working on the different continents, and so they work on, like, all this different stuff. So did you know in Asia, like, they have rice, and did you know about the religions in Asia, and did you know that? And that's my favorite, like, when they're passionate about something, but then also, like, I love learning it right with them.
Yeah.
And learning has been such a challenge with the dyslexia, but finding things past that, like, sure, reading and writing and spelling are not your strong suit because of dyslexia, but he can listen to his textbook and be like, this is the coolest thing ever, and give me, like, a complete synopsis on any book he reads because he loves it.
Yeah.
And even my other dyslexic child, she is just now getting into Percy Jackson. So
great series.
Yeah, so I asked her, I go, she read Holes. She was okay with Holes. She liked it. She has her funny moments. I remember the moment because dyslexic kids listen to audiobooks, especially at a young age until reading's there. And so I'm super big on audiobooks. We have Audible, we have Yoda, we have everything. So she's been listening to books, and it was like one day I remember her sitting in the room and it clicked that what she was listening to was a story.
Yeah, okay.
And I think it was Junie B. Jones.
Nice.
And she was being naughty in the book, of course, and she was doing something with her brother in the crib, and I just hear her dying laughing, like cracking up. And I'm like, what's so funny? It's just like, this girl in the book is being so bad.
Okay, that's cool. That's a cool experience.
And she just was like, and it like clicked, like, this is a story.
Yeah.
And she was sitting there and she comes out laughing. And so she tells me the other day, I love Percy Jackson, Mom. This book is crazy. And all my kids have read Percy Jackson up to this point. So then she sees that Harry Potter's on there. So she's like, Harry Potter next, Mom. I gotta read it.
Harry Potter's good.
And I'm just laughing. And then my other daughter, who is neurotypical and doesn't have dyslexia, is a pain in the butt when it comes to reading. And I'm just like...
But she just finished the second Percy Jackson.
Yeah, but she listens to it on audiobook because everyone else gets to listen on audiobook. Why can't she?
Valid. I mean, I listen to audiobooks.
I know.
It's so much easier. Like, I could do dishes and listen to a book, or like I could clean and listen to a book.
I think that's what they do. Is I think they like to play a game on their iPad while they're like Matthew builds Legos.
Yeah.
While he listens to his audiobooks. Or he plays his game.
Audiobooks is reading. It's just a different way of getting this.
Yeah. And I agree, because I make them take the test after, like the AR test.
Yeah.
I literally found on Google, I'll find, like, I quizzed her on Holes. And so it's funny, that's probably been one of my most favorite experiences. Plus just like learning their personality and they're funny.
They have their moments.
They're pretty funny. They're just all around. They're very kind and good kids, and I like being their mom. Like, it's a good group.
Yeah. She's gonna have some more too.
I do. Yes, my plan. That is the reason we're trying to do. I'm trying to do weight loss surgery. I've lost my 70 pounds.
Yeah.
Is because I really attribute my rough birth to my weight. I was very heavy. I was 70 pounds heavier when I had her. And
I guess that would make sense.
I think that the reason the epidural and it could have been the hospital. You can't sue the hospital if anyone was wondering. Is because of my weight. And so I absolutely want to have more children. I love being a mom. It is something that I feel like I definitely was called to. Like, if I am meant to be a mom, and there's been a couple barriers, but so our next shtick is IVF.
Yeah.
And it already would have had to happen. So like, we're just kind of going into it like we already know, but I want to lose weight first.
Yeah. Which you guys will see as we progress in the podcast. She's already 70 pounds down. She's gonna be even more. It's gonna be crazy.
So
that'll be a part.
Pretty young,
probably
so
a future.
30. So if the next 2 years, I plan on having the weight loss surgery next month, and the next 2 years I plan on doing the IVF and having another child. So
I plan on having another child next year.
Yeah. It's been interesting. I love being a mom.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
If anyone has any questions,
any details, or maybe a similar experience, similar story.
Yeah.
Her story is definitely, I feel like, a unique one because of the weight, because of the infertility stuff, and then adoption. Like 2 out of your 4 kids you were blessed with in a different way. And then even in my story, mine's so much different than hers.
Yeah. Everything I went through, she didn't.
Correct.
And everything she went through, I didn't.
Right, because like breastfeeding, you didn't have any issues with either kid.
No. Oh, my other one, the reason she was, breastfed and bottle fed was because she, they said it didn't make an impact, but she was C-section completely, and she was exactly 38 weeks. Like, there was no, like, maybe the due date was wrong. She was 38 weeks. And she had just eaten before they pulled her out. And so she didn't nurse for the first 24 hours. And they're like, it has no impact. I remember the nurse coming in and patting her back to make her throw up.
Interesting.
And so she latched like 1 or 2 times, but I just couldn't get it going. Like, I was struggling mentally at the time. It was right before we had started homeschooling, and we figured out that my son had dyslexia. And so I was very, very stressed out, and I just couldn't keep up with it mentally. And so she had her bottle. I nursed her at night. She had her bottle. So I have one fully breastfed, one fully bottle fed, and one half and half. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't make a difference.
Fed is best.
Literally.
I
don't think, it didn't make a difference. My youngest, who did both, technically, if it both would be the best, because she's like the smartest kid I ever met. She's 4.5 years old. She's very smart. She's already starting to play the piano and read. She's one of the smartest kids I've ever met. She was talking fully at 18 months.
No, yeah.
So really, I just don't think it plays that big of a difference. Obviously, I'm not a scientist, but in my own clinical trial,
you got variety.
Yeah, I can tell you this is how it went.
That's cool. Mine will be a part 2, I think. That's what we filmed originally.
That didn't film.
So we're trying to give a little bit of a gap before I retell my story, because mine is different. I had an all-natural birth. She already has 4 kids deep by the time I had one. And keep in mind, we're only 4 years apart in age.
Yeah, but I got married at 18 and she got married at 25.
Yeah. But I couldn't find anyone, sooner.
I just it. Okay, first of all, don't feel pressure to get married at 18. It's rough. True. I know everyone wants, everyone was, all of my friends.
That church we mentioned in our previous one. If you're not married at 18, you're basically a spinster at 19. Basically, either you're going to get married or you're going to end up alone. And I found my husband outside of that, because I was like, no, I'm not going to sit here and wait for some...
25 is a completely reasonable age to be
married. And honestly, it was great. I
got married in a rec center.
You got married in a church.
Yeah, but my reception
was in a rec center, yeah.
I'm saying, you got to, you guys could afford to have a real wedding.
Yeah.
We were 18.
Which is what makes the difference. Yeah. No, 100%. And we'll have a whole segment of how we met our husbands, because I think that would be cute. Because they met in middle school. And then if you're a Taylor Swift fan, she has a song called Invisible String. And I do think that Matt and I were very much like that, because we grew up 2 miles apart.
Wow.
2 miles away. And we didn't meet until the time was right for both of us.
Yeah.
And, and so I think it's cool. The different experiences, different kids.
Yeah, so,
the heat is making me tired. I'm like...
yeah, that was my experience becoming a mother. And then, as I'm in the throes of motherhood right now.
Yeah.
Sports.
I'm in the beginning stages.
School, everything. And still, it's awesome, but it is tiring. And trust me, you're not alone. It feels lonely. I feel like people ask me, oh, what have you been doing? And I'm like, I sit in the car, dude, in parking lots. I'm on my phone because I'm.
That's when she FaceTimes me.
I'm a chauffeur. I'm at a parking lot at piano, and a parking lot at swim, and the parking lot at cheer.
Yeah.
I am driving back and forth. I'm at the grocery store.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
Yeah, I don't. So my day, when people are, that's the life right now. That's what it is. And every single time I call my mom, I'm like, I'm sorry, mom. She's like, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it so much. And I'm like, I know. I need to remember that. I need to remember
That's even me. My baby is barely 3 months, and I'm like, stop growing. What's happening?
Just in the last 4 years, I'm like, how have I been homeschooling for 4 years? Where did the time go?
Honestly, yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe it's been 4 years already.
It goes so fast. It's hard. It's exhausting.
What's that? The song?
Every week is a new challenge. It's something you never, ever, ever thought was going to happen.
Yeah. That one country song, you're going to miss this.
Yeah.
Oh, we might get copyrighted. JK. But you know what it was a trend on TikTok.
It's a Trace Adkins song.
Yeah. And it was a trend on TikTok where people would record their toddler throwing a fit, and they're like, apparently I'm going to miss this.
You're gonna. And my kids are still in that stage, and I still sometimes think about when I'm going to miss it.
I think about, I do. I'm like, when I look at my baby, I'm like, I am going to miss this. But then I also am like.
Well, see, the thing is, when you're done, we thought we were done having kids. And so when you're done, you're like, oh, everything is cherished at the last one. And then when it's over, you're like, there's no more.
Yeah. See, and that's for me. I'm like, I get another one. Yeah. I get to have another one, and I get to experience it and like hopefully have a different experience and everything. So.
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely good. So next week we'll talk about yours.
Yeah, so we'll do my story next week.
We did outline a whole bunch of topics too. After we discussed that, we saw like a couple of your guys' comments.
Yeah. Hopefully the camera quality is better. I think we mentioned that at the beginning.
And we shouldn't zoom in. That's
exciting. It should be focused. And then let us know. I don't know, anything, questions, more of her experience, or if you relate, just tell us your story in the comments.
Yeah.
I feel like birth and pregnancy.
The whole point we wanted to talk about this stuff was because we know that it's real for everyone, and we wanted to share our story because we know other people have stories like this.
Right, and I feel like the online presence of pregnancy, if you were pregnant at all this year and you happen to be on social media, you know that it's wild. It's wild out there.
It's like you have to have the perfect pregnancy, and then
or everybody has like these tips and tricks of what you can do with your newborn, or it's this extreme crazy story. Like, and yours is definitely, I feel like, a one-off story.
Yeah.
But like people online,
I had my daughter 4 years ago, and I feel like the newborn stage is completely different than it was 4 years ago, like on how people want.
Well, and social media is different than how it was 4 years ago.
If you're surviving, your baby's fed, changed, clean,
then you're doing great.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
If your baby is fed, your baby is clean, your baby is, in a safe place, you're doing amazing.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's it. And as much as everyone wants to be like, oh no, you have to have the latest thing, you have to have this, you can't do this, you don't. Well, your baby wants you. That's it.
Controversial. I slept with my baby on my chest her first 6 weeks of life. Literally.
See, and then, yeah.
And now she sleeps in her bedside bassinet, and she does great. But like, dude, the first 6 weeks, that was the only freaking place she would calm down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, this is where she was chill.
And that was exhausting. I stayed up all night in the hospital because my daughter wouldn't sleep in the bassinet. And I went home to 3 kids, exhausted because I'd been up for 48 hours because they would not let her sleep anywhere else, and she just cried.
Yeah. See, and I didn't have that issue because I got to go home like 5 hours after my baby came out. So
I think I went home and I went straight to bed, and then I put her next to me in the bed because I was like, I need to sleep.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. I know everyone wants to be like, well, Survivor this, bias, Survivor, like, it didn't happen to you one time. Caution is real, but fear is also very real. And if you're going to live in fear, it's going to just rule your life. And also, I know that from firsthand experience.
Literally almost everywhere else in the world, bed sharing is a thing. It's literally only here that it's not. And I believe that is capitalistic propaganda so that they can sell you their new bedside bassinet, do this, do that, so that, don't get me wrong, it happens, accidents happen, and I'm not discounting that, but if they actually taught proper co-sleeping like they do in Japan or in like Sweden or whatever, probably would have less incidences. So
I couldn't get my kids out of my bed. My biological kids, all of them ended up in my bed, and guess where they loved to sleep and where they slept the best? Right in between me and my husband.
But you know what? Maya Embolic, the chick from Big Bang Theory, she talks about that. She literally is like, we're the only mammals who don't sleep with their young. Make that make sense. It doesn't. So, and everyone has their own thing. Some people don't want to co-sleep at all because
that's fine.
It's whatever works, whatever's your preference. But it's definitely, there's more negativity online, and I feel like
we're just two regular people.
Yeah, and that's my story especially. Hers is still kind of a unique, like, one-off story with your C-sections and then with your spinal fluid stuff. Mine is very much like, I feel like most people have an experience like me. Not the super crazy ones where, like, they do get the high blood pressure or they do get the diabetes. But, like, I was a very healthy pregnancy, and I feel like that is most people.
Yeah.
And then there's other stories you see online and it gets you scared, like, oh, maybe I'm going to be like this. But no, you're probably perfectly happy, healthy, normal. And your pregnancy and your babies are going to be happy, healthy, normal.
And the reason you're afraid is because you have access to the stories.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You used to just hear what your mom and your mom's mom and they all went through, right? because that's who told you the stories, and it's probably going to be pretty similar to what you're going to go through.
Or maybe
but now you hear everyone's story, and now it seems like, oh no, this is crazy. What can happen? And it's like, no, it's not going to be that. It's scary. It is terrifying.
I wouldn't have thought about that. I guess that's true.
Yeah, but everyone has gone through it for ages.
Right. We've been surviving as a human race.
Like, listen to your mothers. Listen to your grandmothers. They're not lying to you.
Yeah.
Listen to other mothers. They're not lying to you.
Yeah. Well,
we hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then we will try definitely to have the next episode out within a week, I think. And it should be getting better.
Thank you, everyone, for your comments and for following us.
Yes, thank you. Very exciting stuff. It's getting hot. I'm getting tired.
Thank you for watching Two Sisters
in a garage. In our garage.
In our garage.
Yeah, there you go.